A fresh development has surfaced after the meeting of Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. According to sources, negotiations are still on the terms of Yediyurappa's resignation. Yediyurappa has also assured Prime Minister Modi that he is ready to follow all directions if given by the Prime Minister and would even step down if asked to. Yediyurappa has assured the Bharatiya Janata Party top brass that he is committed to the party ideology. Sources, however, revealing that there is a primary condition that has been set by Yediyurappa for his resignation, and that primary condition is to include his sons in a central role and in senior positions. Bharatiya Janata Party, as sources are telling us, that is likely to begin a hunt for the next Chief Minister of the state of Karnataka very soon.
We have discussed in detail about the development of the party in the state and also in the country, and given so many instructions to build up the party in Karnataka, and he is having very good opinion about me, and you are the only man to work day and night and come back to the power in Karnataka. For that I agreed, and I will do full time, and I will work for the party to come back to power again in the Karnataka.
Sources close to Chief Minister Yediyurappa have now said that at present the resignation is not coming from B.S. Yediyurappa. He is going to complete 2 years in office by this month, and only some action will be taken after that. That's the big news now coming in. Yediyurappa not yet with plans to resign, will likely complete the 2 years in office by the end of July. Siddharth Zurabi, Managing Editor, Business Today, is now joining me with this scoop of the inside track. Very interesting, Siddharth. So it appears there's not going to be any sudden decision by the BJP top brass in Delhi.
Well, that is absolutely correct. And like Rahul has explained earlier, the entire sort of scenario arose after that meeting with the Prime Minister. However, please note that as far as changes in Karnataka are concerned, the question of timing is obviously going to be very, very closely held by the BJP top leadership. However, in principle, there is an effort to effect a long-term change for the growth and the survival of the party there. Shobha Karandraje's inclusion in the Council of Ministers, and this is what BJP insiders have been telling me after this news broke earlier today, is part of that overall game plan, because it sort of has two possibilities. One, she is the current Chief Minister's most trusted political aide. By bringing her into the Council of Ministers, a signal has been sent to the Chief Minister that your concerns are being accommodated. Now, as far as the demand for the sons, the progeny, we know how the BJP reacts to that. So we leave that aside for the moment. The question, therefore, would arise if this change were to be affected, and the timing clearly very few people except the top 2-3 people in the BJP would know, apart from the Prime Minister. This would lead to step down changes as far as the new face in Karnataka is concerned. We know that B.L. Santosh and Prahlad Joshi are two names. However, when it comes to Karnataka and the particular caste dynamics in the state, the BJP will have to trade a very fine line in terms of the caste dynamics for the Chief Minister's position. And were that to happen, consequently, there will be further changes in the party setup. Okay. But for now, it is very clear that we saw something play out in Uttar Pradesh a few weeks back. As far as Karnataka is concerned, changes have to happen. Timing and how smoothly they are done is the crux of the matter.
Interesting. So not immediately, not sudden, not out of the place. And if at all that decision will be taken, it will appear to be very smooth in nature from the BJP. Siddharth, please stay on with me for further latest, because I want to update our viewers of why is this such a big news that Yediyurappa is in Delhi meeting the Prime Minister, meeting the BJP President. What are the reports in the background of a possible replacement? Why could B.S. Yediyurappa be replaced? Let's take a look first. The party is planning to expand in Karnataka and in southern states. Could he jeopardize the party's planning? Could he sabotage the grooming of a new face, a younger face? Remember, Yediyurappa is almost 80 years old already, unlikely to go for the next elections in Karnataka. BJP will want to look for a successor. The opposition and the dissenters have mentioned court cases against Yediyurappa, and that has made his position at some level untenable. However, importantly, BJP has been promoting Lingayat leaders. Remember, Lingayat community does have a lot of clout and both muscle and money with regard to Karnataka politics. Yediyurappa is also not seen as a hardcore Hindutva leader. He has been associated with the Sangh, but also has a mind of his own with regard to the workings there on the ground in Karnataka. His exit could pave way for better governance, as is being claimed by dissenter MLAs within the BJP and, of course, with regard to the opposition as well. Some more news coming in. Let's take a look. Remember, just recently there was the change in the Council of Ministers in the cabinet, and one name had made way. It was inclusion of Shobha Karandlaje. Now, why is that important? Because it is considered that she is one of the most trusted political aide of B.S. Yediyurappa, and while B.L. Santosh and others have nursed such ambitions allegedly also, there could be Prahlad Joshi, B.L. Santosh, some of these names also that may come in for contenders as the Chief Minister's position if and when Bharatiya Janata Party takes that decision. Remember, this would be a bold move given the state caste dynamics, because if the Chief Minister gets replaced, expect changes for the party organization as well. I'm again going back to our managing editor Business Today, Siddharth Zurabi, for all the inside information he has managed to get on this developing story. So like you were telling us earlier as well, Siddharth, why is it important to see Shobha Karandlaje's entry into the Council of Ministers not in isolation, and other names who are harboring a possible ambition as Chief Minister of Karnataka? Over to you, Siddharth.
What was the need for Ms. Shobha to be included in the Council of Ministers? We saw a certain plan in the recent revamp of the Union Council of Ministers. If you were to go by that calculus, Shobha's inclusion did not really fit into some of those parameters that were visible in that inclusion. So clearly, it is for two reasons. One, it gives a certain sense of assurance to Mr. Yediyurappa, who, by the way, is 76 years old, and his 2 years of his tenure get completed later this month. And if the BJP's 75-year yardstick were to be applied, he is currently serving as the fourth-time Chief Minister of Karnataka. Those two parameters alone would tell us that Shobha's inclusion in the Council of Ministers could also have been done with the eye on reducing the possibilities of any rebellion or any opposition from Mr. Yediyurappa, who remains one of the old surviving stalwarts from a very different era than what prevails in the BJP as far the leadership is concerned. You would see that there have been other changes in the last few years with regard to grooming a newer leadership in Karnataka. Incidentally, and this is also important, the General Secretary who had been in charge of Karnataka from the BJP, P. Muralidhar Rao, had also given up that charge a few months ago, and there is a new party in charge for the state of Karnataka. And we know for a fact that when the BJP wants to make certain medium-term, long-term changes, it does them by dovetailing organizational changes as well as with administrative changes. Mr. Muralidhar Rao was seen as one of Mr. Yediyurappa's proponents in New Delhi in the BJP headquarters, and had a long-serving relationship with him. So with that change, I think a gradual process, and that's a very important point that you have made and Rahul has also made earlier. It's going to be gradual. It may surprise in terms of its timing, but it will not be sudden in that sense.
And very important what you're telling us here on India Today, Siddharth, that all these decisions that have been taken recently should not be seen in isolation. Could there be a political strategy, a long-term plan of that? So that's a very important perspective that you've given us. Thank you very much, Siddharth Zorabi, and I request you to stay on because it is important to understand why these rumblings are taking place. Remember, even the dissenters within the Bharatiya Janata Party in Karnataka have alleged, especially the MLAs, that there is interference by Yediyurappa's family members, by his sons within the party politics and also in the government. So all eyes will now be on the Bharatiya Janata Party's top leadership in the national capital, Delhi. They have met Yediyurappa. Could there be a decision coming in soon enough?
The war is on. The rumblings are real. And the end game could be the most unthinkable upheaval for Chief Minister Yediyurappa, with the BJP government firmly sitting in factions for and against the Chief Minister. Wheels have begun to turn, both within the party and in the Chief Minister's office. Breaking his silence a few days ago on speculation over the speculated leadership change, Yediyurappa said he will resign only when they ask him to do so.
ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿಯ ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡ್ ನನ್ನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ವಿಶ್ವಾಸ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ಮುಂದುವರಿತೇನೆ. ಯಾವ ದಿವಸ ನೀವು ಬೇಡ ಯಡಿಯೂರಪ್ಪನವರೇ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೋ ಆ ದಿವಸ ರಾಜೀನಾಮೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಹಗಲು ರಾತ್ರಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ಯಾವುದೇ ಗೊಂದಲದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನಿಲ್ಲ.
But Yediyurappa is matching his words with some signature flexing of his Lingayat muscle. Yediyurappa's son, B.Y. Vijendra, a party vice president himself, has held meetings with prominent Lingayat seers, raising eyebrows in political circles.
All of them, MLAs are also trying to gather their support. CM is also trying to gather support. But still, with the entire state in a big loss, at the time of COVID, we all are suffering. We are suffering. We are begging for lives. They are begging for power.
With that talk, Yediyurappa will not continue in the top post and attempts are underway to unseat him. The imagery also serves as a reminder of Yediyurappa's strength.
As Yediyurappa has not gained support from his MLAs, his family has now turned to seers from his community to rally behind him. However, this meeting is termed as a courtesy call, but the political message is strong and clear.
But as we have reported before, Yediyurappa, the Lingayat strongman, cannot be easily dethroned and has proven in the past that looking beyond him can be a problematic exercise for the BJP. But if Mission Exit does manage to gather strength, if BJP High Command decides to replace Yediyurappa with another Lingayat, these are four probables. And if BJP decides to go with communities other than Lingayats, these are the four probables. Yediyurappa has been known to quell many a rumbling in the past. The question is, will things be different this time? With Nagarjun Dwarkanath in Bengaluru, Bureau Report, India Today.
So what happens if B.S. Yediyurappa, the Chief Minister of Karnataka, is replaced and removed with a new and a fresh and a younger name as well? Let's bring you up to speed with some scenarios that we have prepared for you. So on scenario top, if Yediyurappa is removed as the Chief Minister, what could be the implication? BJP might lose support among the Lingayat, and that's a very strong vote bank, at least with regard to the caste and community dynamics in Karnataka. Now BJP continues with Yediyurappa as the Chief Minister as it looks right now. Infighting likely to continue within the dissenters, for which they will then have to affect the and manage the morale of the cadres and assuage any of those fears as well. Now scenario number 3, cabinet rejig with Yediyurappa as the Chief Minister. So he doesn't go anywhere, but there could be a reshuffle. What happens then? The rebellion may die down temporarily, but new aspirants may emerge later. New aspirants are important because as of now, there is no successor in Karnataka for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Would the BJP want a sudden aspirant or would want to prepare one for the next elections in the state of Karnataka? However, remember, it will not be easy for the BJP to get rid of, so to say, Yediyurappa. He has been a strong political leader and history speaking for itself. Because remember what happened in 2013? It was the year BJP realized the extent of the damage that Yediyurappa can do with the power and the support he has within Karnataka, within his party and within the people and among them as well. Yediyurappa broke away from the BJP, formed a new party by the name of KGP, and that split the Lingayat vote bank that the Bharatiya Janata Party desperately needed. Take a look at this background.
For many, B.S. Yediyurappa has always been the BJP mainstay in Karnataka. He is the undisputed leader of the single largest community in the state, the Lingayats. The Lingayats, comprising 17% of Karnataka's 6 crore plus population, helped the BJP secure 110 seats in the 224-member state assembly in 2008. Their sole wish was to see Yediyurappa as the chief minister. However, the BJP government's involvement in corruption and sex scandal was a major reason why it lost significant portion of its urban vote bank in the state in the 2013 polls. While one minister was accused of rape, 2 others were caught watching porn on the floor of the Legislative Assembly. Besides, a dozen ministers, including Yediyurappa, were accused of land grabbing, cheating and corruption. The result was an all-time low for the party image. Finally, in a major embarrassment to the BJP, B.S. Yediyurappa, who had quit the CM's post over corruption charges, was jailed in October 2011. This after the Lokayukta Special Court judge rejected his bail plea in 2 cases of illegal denotification of land in and around Bengaluru in return for monetary gains. Yediyurappa spent 25 days in prison before being released. Now he wanted his post back, but Advani was firm on dealing with corruption within the party to take on the Congress. Then, in December 2012, B.S. Yediyurappa walked away from the BJP after his plans to become chief minister or party chief were opposed by L.K. Advani. Advani and many others were gearing up towards the 2014 polls and did not want anybody to scuttle their anti-corruption crusade against the Congress nationally. 2013 polls changed everything for the BJP. The Congress came to power. Siddaramaiah became the chief minister and BJP was reduced to just 40 seats. BSY's KJP had secured 6 seats and damaged the BJP. It was time to bring Yediyurappa back into the party. The late Anant Kumar and others had objections to the return of Yediyurappa. They wanted an alliance with the KJP instead of a merger. Others were a bit skeptical about inducting the entire KJP into the BJP, since in some constituencies the fight had turned ugly. But bringing B.S. Yediyurappa into the party once again was of utmost importance, as Karnataka was the only state in South India where the BJP then hoped to perform decently in the 2014 general elections. It was for these reasons and the very survival of the party that the BJP brought back B.S. Yediyurappa.